Hello there, everybody. Welcome to World Peace Tournament. This is round 2, and this match will be Kerbis versus reyalsdiorteM. Troy?
Hi, I'm Troy of Athens. World Peace Tournament. We do have Kerbis in the call right now to do a little pre-game interview. Unfortunately, Rayal is not able to join us, but we do have Kerbis. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. How are you guys?
We're doing alright.
It's not bad.
Well, I'm doing alright.
It's okay if you spoke for me that time. It was fine. It was right. So, how you feeling about this race? You doing good today with runs and all that?
Yeah, I did a couple warm-up runs, just a couple no resets. There's actually been some route changes recently in this
There
category,
has,
so...
especially in Seaside. Seaside and Sand are big ones.
Yeah, Seaside and Sand, for the most part. So I've been, up until the other day, I hadn't done these routes yet. So I've been working on those a little bit, just making sure I know what I'm doing. And I think I have them down pretty solid. Yeah, just knocked out some no resets earlier today to get myself warmed up a little bit, so I'm feeling okay.
That's good.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I saw Dangers.
It's a little bit monk ass in my opinion, but we'll see.
I saw Dangers practicing some of the new sand route recently as well, and yeah, they look interesting.
It's definitely it's a lot of really unique stuff, I think. Like,
yeah, I personally don't think I don't think I'll be touching that sand route. I already incorporated the Seaside stuff.
I never thought about capturing one bullet bill and then directing it to break the block and then capture the second one while that one's breaking the block.
Yeah,
Neo is thought to ever do that.
Particularly that night sand section where you're doing all those moons. It's a really different way of approaching that section compared to how other categories go through it.
Oh, so absolutely. No other category does it like that.
Yeah, I definitely like it.
Close.
Just for how unique it is. It's
it is very unique.
Like, I didn't even catch it the first time. At first, I thought like you were getting out of the first bullet bill just to refresh the timer on the capture.
No.
But then I realized, oh, you're breaking a block with it.
Well, that is what you do to get that moon. Just normally we break it separately and then take the other one to Jaxi Ruins. So we kind of just switched up what we do with it now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's generally the same though.
And how do you, I know this is going to be your first game, Kerbis, of the tournament. So how are you feeling facing Royale today?
Well, the cool thing about this tournament is almost everybody is at like relatively close skill levels for this category. So it makes for a lot of potentially really close races, and I think,
everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think because Rail is much better at any percent than I am, but I'm a lot more experienced with all of the non-any percent stuff. So we kind of have this thing going on where he's probably going to outperform me in the kingdoms that are the same as any percent, and I have a much better chance of outperforming him in all the other kingdoms. So it might make for a really interesting kind of back and forth throughout the race.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. I actually touched on that yesterday with the race yesterday between Dangers and Tylo Tech. I was talking about how Tylo might pull ahead a bit more in the any percent kingdoms, while obviously Dangers would pull more ahead in the World Peace kingdoms.
Right.
So it's kind of that same dynamic.
Yeah, and yeah, I think there's a small handful of people like that in this tournament who are more accustomed to the other categories. So
absolutely.
I think we're going to get a lot of that. Yeah, I think that'll be the most interesting part.
Yeah, I definitely. So, I don't know. Any final thoughts before we begin?
Nope. Should be fun. I'll do my best to take home the win.
That's all you can do.
Yep.
And actually, while I have you here, I'm just curious of what we're having for allowing for skips.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
I'm on version 1.2, so First moon skip is not possible on
Right,
version,
of course.
So we're not doing that, and we're not doing sewer clip either.
Alright. It's about what I expected.
Okay,
Alrighty.
so yeah, good luck on the run
Thank you.
and the race.
Yep, good luck, Kerbis.
And now we can get ready to start this race.
Yep, it should be a good one.
So as I addressed a little bit in that interview there, that this is going to be Kerbis's first match in the World Peace Tournament. Reyal's second match.
Yep. And that's because some of the runners had to do a preliminary round, I think. I don't know, it was something like that. Like, something with the seeding, right?
Yeah, Kerbis was one of the higher seeds. I believe he actually was the #1 seed.
Ah, okay, so
tournament.
that's how that worked. Yeah, I wasn't sure how that worked. Alrighty. So they should be getting started any moment now. And they are off. Alrighty. So Cap and Cascade are going to be generally the same. Pretty much. Well, you know, minus FMS for those on 1.0. Because FMS this race is banned.
Right.
But other than that, it's pretty much the same cut and dry thing that you would see in any category of this game. Pretty much.
Right. I do think
With
a lot of
minor
people
exceptions.
who have watched SMO before are familiar with Cascade Kingdom without FMS. So
Of course.
it shouldn't be nothing. It should still be something you've seen before.
Yeah, nothing groundbreaking. Looks like they are both off to a solid start in the Cap Kingdom. Both with very solid movement in that first section. That can be trickier than some might think to pull off, just cutting the corner on that triple jump.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of discussion about today and different Discord servers I've seen, but about how important movement is in any run of Mario Odyssey.
Absolutely, movement is key. I mean, you know, you can have a 115 and do Sphinx clip and turn up clip, but it won't matter if your movement is not up to notch. Not up to notch. Alright, well that's an interesting way of putting it. Reyals doing the left side.
Oh, and there's our first example
Kerbis
right there.
attempting the left side.
Yes, there's
Well-
our first example right there of how important movement is. Reyal
Yep, that's
being
going to be the
able
first time difference. To be honest, you could play it safe and just go on the right side, and you wouldn't lose too much time for it. The left side doesn't lose too much time if you fail it, so it's not going to be that big of a difference at the start of this race. Though we'll give Reyal a decent head start.
And it certainly might leave a bad taste in Kerbis's mouth at the start.
Potentially,
of this run.
yes, but with these types of mistakes, you just kind of have to brush it off and move on. So Reyal's having the cleaner cap, but that doesn't mean much in this category, I feel. There's definitely a lot of possible time loss and very stupid situations if you're not careful. Already, both of them grabbing the first moon. Like I said before, Reyals has the slight lead here. But it's just Cap and Cascade, so might be expected since Reyals has more any percent experience.
And yep, going into the T-Rex jump.
Queen Dino jump on Reyals' side. See how Kerbis does. Alrighty, both of them nailing that trick. Now, that trick is pretty simple, but trust me, I guarantee you everyone that has ran this game has screwed that up at one point.
Absolutely.
It can be very frustrating.
You just have done it so many times at this point. You're bound to mess
Absolutely.
it up.
So when you miss it once, you just get really confused. Like, oh no, what happened?
Oh, the feet are so, such a hard thing to control sometimes, and you basically are just trying to get that left foot onto the trampoline, and sometimes the walking cycle is a bit weird.
Right, absolutely. Like, you can back it up, but you just have to kind of take a little moment to realign the dinosaur, since his stubby legs need to hit the trampoline. Alrighty, I was... Ooh. A little bit of a bonk on Reyal's side. That's okay. He backed it up pretty well. Now, I was kind of curious if Reyals was still going to potentially go for Chess Moon, since I'm pretty sure Chess Moon with Chess Clip is faster than Cliff. Alrighty, so Reyals still has the slight lead, but like I have mentioned multiple times already, that shouldn't matter too much. Kingdoms to go through. Cap and Cascade is just the icing on the cake. Or something like that. Not quite sure where I was going with that analogy. Now, believe it or not, there is a little bit of time save that you can get through that menuing transitioning to sand. The action guide is a bit weird, and if you mash the button quick enough, you can pull it, like, off before it actually pulls up, so it doesn't take nearly as much time as it would normally, pulling through the action guide.
Rhea pulling off the camera manip at the beginning of Sand. Doesn't save any time, but it looks cool.
Yeah, for sure. Getting the bird. Not quite playing it super risky, but still, you know, letting the bird travel a little bit before jumping over to it. If you wait long enough, you can save a little bit more time, since the bird isn't as close. Reyals, as expected, is gonna go for the dram route.
That hat looks good.
Sand route. Oh, I think they're both doing it.
Oh!
Oh.
That's annoying.
Okay, well...
That hat looked like it was high enough, but I guess the homing just didn't want to cooperate there.
Yeah, I guess not. That's okay,
Oh,
though.
and Kerbis had a similar problem, though, so it actually didn't really lose Rhea any time there on the lead.
Nope, doesn't look like it. So they both nabbed the checkpoint. Oh, Kerbis is having a little bit of trouble.
No, don't lose it, don't lose it!
No. Motion controls are being very nasty. Ooh, that's gonna cost a lot of time.
So yeah, you gotta keep that bullet bill.
Reyals going into the pyramid. Queen clip. However, we do have to keep in mind that Reyals is... Oh. Okay.
Okay, so Kerbis dealing
Slight
with this.
bonk there from Reyals.
So Kerbis dealing with that. Actually, pretty significant time loss there.
That's
but Rhea
Right.
now dying inside pyramid, actually allowing Kerbis to really kind of.
Kerbis is having a little bit of trouble with the
yeah,
1.2 IQ clip, but he gets in.
Yeah, I
The
was like,
2 pyramid clip is a little bit more tricky than the 1.01.
I believe that was like a 7 tries there, roughly.
Honestly, if you get it within 10 tries, that's good to me.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, it's very tricky. So now they're just both dashing through the pyramid.
Am I misremembering the route here? Because Rhea didn't get the moon after this pipe in the
The
2D
new route
section.
does not get the 8-bit moon. Kerbis is getting the 8-bit moon, though, because he had Bullet Bill mishaps, which made him miss Lone Pillar.
Okay.
I think that's the reason he's getting the 8-bit. Ooh, Kerbis slipping a bit, but that shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Able to get a backup and jumping right over it again.
Yep.
Not really a backup, just more of setting up the jump a second time.
A faster way to back that up, actually, is if you capture the Bullet Bill, you can just fly it around the corner and then just dash all the way across the gap.
Right.
But I think the Bullet Bill exploded, which is why you just tried to jump again. So it looks like they are about a Harriet fight apart. Actually, a little less than that.
Right, as Rhea just finishes, is pretty much at the ending of this collection cutscene for this multi-moon, and Kerbis just now is finishing Harriet.
Alrighty.
So I would call it a Sand Kingdom first multi-moon away from each other.
Yeah, kinda. So because they both did new route, we will be seeing the same moons collected. So that will at least keep the timings that we have in our head for Sand Kingdom straight.
And I also make things pretty interesting because there's some movement in this section of Sand Kingdom that is pretty new to a lot of players. So
Definitely, this movement is kind of tricky. I haven't tried it yet, but that's just because I'm kind of a scrub and can't do Dram consistently.
yeah, even like moving with the bullet bills here is kind of annoying, and like it definitely takes some getting used to, because you're not just capturing it and moving it, you're doing some very tricky maneuvers actually.
Right, you have
Getting
to
really close to a wall on the left side, and you gotta be careful.
Yeah, it definitely is a bit of tricky execution. But reyals seemed to pull it out alright. I think he missed a spin pound on the luggage moon, but that's very minimal time loss on the grand scheme of things. Ooh. Ooh. Motion controls are being very mean to Kerbis today. I know how that feels, though. Doesn't feel very well. Very good. Reyals in the ice cavern. Ooh. I think that's his third death this run already. Maybe second.
It's definitely at least 2.
Well, it's keeping it close. So that's exciting. Alrighty. Reyals. Ooh. Oh, that save! Excellent
Well
save.
done. I was expecting that that might have been like a case for another death to happen.
The jump can be very tricky, but he saved it clutch there. Kerbis getting the bullet jump. No. Reyals not having trouble with the second bullet jump.
Yep, right into the knuckle tech fight.
Ground pounding to get down there just a little bit faster. It's those tiny optimizations in your movement, which is what's going to make you even faster in this game. Kerbis with the up throw, saving himself from that second bullet jump. That could have potentially went bad.
And did not
Considering
ground
how
pound.
motion controls have treated him so far.
Right, and did not ground pound into the fight. Simply just let himself fall at the regular speed.
But that's only slightly slower, so... I mean, honestly, I don't blame him for playing it safe there. Now, something both of the runners are doing here is they are rolling toward Knuckle-Tech's fist, because the, closer you roll to his fist, the faster the fight goes, because that's, like, the trigger in the fight to continue on to the next phase, or something like that. I probably didn't explain that very well. Point is, it saves very little bits of time each phase, and that's all that matters, really.
Yeah, a lot of boss fights in this game involve manipulation with movement so that you can get
Absolutely.
so you can get the shortest phases.
Another small optimization that you can do there with the multi-moon is you can look up at it so it appears sooner. That saves a little bit of time as well. Don't know the exact amount of time that saves. You know, it saves enough. Saves enough to be worthwhile. So they are a multi-moon cutscene apart, like you said before.
Do we actually want to put a number to it? Because I can figure that out, too.
We can figure out the gap when, you know, Reyals leaves Sand. We can figure it out that way. Reyals leaving Sand at 1532.
Oh, we weren't going to split on Banner?
Who does that? Fade out's where it's at, man.
I know.
And Kerbis leaving at 1549, so it's about a 17-second difference. Significant, but I'd still say it's anyone's game.
Absolutely. That's only like 9 bunks. It can be done.
Yeah, 9 bonks. Wow, when you think of it that way, that is not a lot. Alrighty, so Lake Kingdom is completely unchanged. Nothing ever changes in Lake Kingdom.
Except in any percent.
Well, that's only if you're going for that ridiculous optimization that saved... I don't even know how much... Like, I don't even know how much time it saves. That's how out of the loop I am with the recent any percent optimizations. I'm just like, oh, so-and-so PB'd and world recorded again. Yay. Good for them. No, I mean, like, but no, seriously. Chaos, keep going, man. You are on fire. But yeah, there's not too much happening in Lake. It's all the same stuff that you can see normally. Hopefully no one has any trouble with Rango today. Not a very difficult boss, but when you have trouble with him, oh, you have trouble with him. Can be very unfortunate. Both runners having zero trouble with Ringo, showing that he is a 100% nobody in this game. Nobody likes Ringo. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's somebody that likes him. Reyals leaving Lake. Looks like the gap is slightly larger now. but not too significant. I think that was just due to Reyals having slightly better movement here and there. Troy? I don't know if we lost Troy. Oh, okay. Alright. That's okay. Alright, so both starting wooded. Reyals having a clean start. Neither of them having trouble with the bunny. Very respectable. That bunny can cause some issues. Let's see if we see some nut clips. Got a nut clip from Reyal. Just going through the wall. Totally expected. There is some out-of-bounds movement that you can do after that nut clip to skip the gate, but it can be a little monk-ass if you're not careful. It can be very punishing. So, totally understandable if neither of them go for it. Yep, neither of them going for it, just playing it safe. Just using nut clip to just get through the wall pretty quickly. Reyals grabbing the maze move.
I'm back, by the way.
Alrighty.
Sorry about that.
Nah, no problem. I just wasn't sure. You know, I thought you got like disconnected or something. Alright, Reyals approaching FRS, otherwise known as Flower Road Skip. It's one of those tricks that looks really cool, because you just kind of skip the gap.
It also is still pretty hard. It's not just
absolutely.
It's not just one of those things that just looks cool. It's still
no,
it's
no,
still
it is
something
very
that
tricky.
takes a bit of practice.
Oh, it is one. I think Kerbis is forgetting what category he's playing.
Oh yeah, you do not get the nut around the corner typically.
Honestly, I think at that point I would just committed to getting nut at the dead end and then dipping nut on the fence later. Personally, that's what I would have done at that point. Because he kind of already committed to going that way.
Wait, did he go most of the way and then turn around and not do it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then is doing Flower Road.
Well, yeah, like I said earlier, Flower Road Skip isn't really one of those things that you try again. If you miss it, you just kind of take the Flower Road. It's kind of a shame thing, but at the same time, it's one of those things that you really shouldn't be trying multiple times, since at that point you already lost the time loss, and it's a really risky trick.
Oh, I didn't even notice him failing it, though.
Oh. Kerbis is having a little bit of trouble with Tower Skip, but seems like he pulled it through. I think what happened there was Cappy got stuck on the other side, and he didn't realize that, so Cappy almost didn't get back to him in time, which almost caused him to fall through the scaffolding.
Yeah, so...
That would have been very unfortunate.
So unfortunately, we've turned the multi-moon cutscene apart difference to a full Spewart fight apart.
Oh. Okay, that was a very interesting optimization that Reyals did right there. I've never seen that there. I've never seen someone grab the flower there. Usually I just see people roll up to that and then triple jump off the fall, you know, like up the falls. But he decided to take the flower. Very interesting. That's probably faster too, so I'm not sure why most of us aren't doing that. Well, you live and you learn. That was also a very interesting strat there. Reyals just kind of rolling off the ledge, but then just doing a Cappy bounce instead of doing like a long jump or a single jump to jump the gap. Definitely a little bit faster since you keep your momentum a little bit more.
And those are some pretty good shots by Reyal there.
Yeah, definitely way better tank movement than I have. I am so bad at controlling this tank. Like, I have probably 3-cycled Pekka Wiggler more than anyone who's ran this game. Anyways, getting slightly off topic, but Reyals is entering the Torque Drift fight.
You over your demons yet?
Yeah, I've gotten over it.
Okay, good.
Me and Torque Drift are cool. Kind of. Not really, but, you know, I've gotten over it. So this fight isn't necessarily difficult, but you shouldn't treat it as it's a complete cakewalk, as I have learned recently. Should definitely still keep your guard up.
It is.
You never know when the hitboxes on those blocks are just going to be like, hey, I don't want to work today.
It is possible to die anywhere in this game. So you
Absolutely.
gotta keep that in mind.
100%. And some places, like these boss fights, can be way more punishing than other sections. Here's just opting to just roll into the Torque Drift fight. There is a strat that Dangerous does there, where he does 5 roll boosts and then buffers a spin, and then drills down into the fight. It looks really cool, but it's definitely pretty difficult to pull off.
Ooh, and Raya missing a hit on the node there.
Luckily, he was able to hit the other one before the lasers were sniping him.
Yeah, he missed that node before the blocks even started spawning around it, so...
Oh, okay, well in that case...
Able to set it up.
Yeah, he was fine then. Ooh, Kerbis making a similar mistake.
Yeah, I would almost say that was pretty much the same mistake.
Uh-oh, I'm getting flashbacks. Okay, no, they're good, they're good.
You're fine, you're fine. Just breathe.
Alright. Well, I haven't fought him since the race. I should probably do that again.
That feeling you're feeling is fear.
It's okay.
You need to get over it.
Yeah, I'm good.
You need to.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm over it.
Okay. Kerbis taking a hit from the lasers, which is a bit unusual. People usually are able to avoid those.
Shh. Usually.
I'm talking about the ones in between phases, the one before the nodes.
Hey,
Here.
man, a laser is a laser.
Fair.
So now it looks like the gap has widened just a little bit further. Looks like they're about an Odyssey transition into a Kingdom transition into a slight multi-moon transition, so probably about 50 seconds.
That was about a 27:09 starting the Bowser fight. Like
Yeah, if we...
the wipe
we can keep
after
track
skip
of it.
cutscene. The wipe
we can
after
keep
skip
track of it.
cutscene into Bowser fight.
Manipulating Bowser, nothing has changed here from any percent. It's just Cloud, no big deal. You know, just punch Bowser in a special spot and GG, leave. It's over.
Yeah.
His special spot, am I right?
Stomach.
Yeah, that's totally what I was referring to, man.
Yeah.
Special spot. Alrighty, so it looks like it's a little bit more than 50 seconds. So I was a little bit off on that. That was a good estimate without any, you know, actual judgment.
Right. Okay, that's over a minute. That's
Yeah, it's a
about
minute and 8 seconds.
Yes.
Ooh. So the gap widened a little bit more than I thought, but it's still a race. Anything can happen. We can have some problems with mech later on. Mollusk can be pretty annoying. Kukateel's hitboxes. It's far from over.
Falling into the pit
I
of
am
Lost Kingdom.
commentating first. Oh boy. You know,
Yeah, missing the dive onto the butterfly. That butterfly can be kind of annoying. It's a very narrow platform there.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
You can occasionally just fall off if you miss time the jumps.
You know, before doing commentary for, you know, races and stuff, I was like, commentary's curse isn't real.
Oh,
Nah, I lied. It is so real.
I have done so much commentary, and I know for a fact it is real.
It is so real, dude. Like, just something about it. Like, maybe they can, like, hear us with, like, inner psyche or something. It's like telepathy. They just, like, know that they're talking about someone possibly screwing up, and then, like, a couple of seconds later, we get a screw up.
And it's so confusing,
so
too,
weird.
because usually our feed is delayed even like a bit after what
That's
they've actually
true.
done
Our
on stream.
That's true. Our feed is delayed, so you would think the opposite would happen, where this stuff would happen like a minute later after we say it, not immediately. Maybe they have like the intuition that a screw up is happening.
I mean,
I don't know, dude. That's weird.
commentator curse confirms time travel. That's all I gotta say.
Goodness. Reyals actually opting to do a safer strat to get this cage moon.
Yeah, that
I
was
don't
just
know if it would still be faster with that safer strat that he just did. In that case, I feel like Stone Cage would have been the better bet.
don't know. I just know you can't call that cage triple because there was no triple.
There was no triple jump in that cage. Or, well, to the cage. But it looks like besides the butterfly mishap, Reyals had a pretty clean loss. Interesting, they're both doing that. Neither of them are... I don't blame them. That is a very scary strat. Definitely not... safe. Ooh. Bonking on the wooden peg.
I've actually never seen that bonk before.
On the wooden peg?
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I've seen someone, you know, like, wall jump off the wall, and then dive, and then roll off the other side and die. If you know what I mean. Anyway, so it looks like the gap is a little smaller now, but not by too much. Anyways, Reyals just doing simple any percent things in Night Metro. There is one change from, you know, from any percent to World Peace for Night Metro. The Swaying Breeze Moon in Night Metro and World Peace, so should be seeing that soon.
Inside town hall here is no different. It's the same thing. It's just what no different means.
Movement intensive. So, you know, they're just warping around City Hall, no big deal. At least for
Oh,
Oh,
I could tell that jump was not gonna make it for Kerbis. That's
Kerbis having a very unfortunate bonk there on the stairs. He tried to save it by aiming for the stairs, but even that was futile.
Reyal now moving into the Wiggler fight. Of course, trying to get the 2-cycle.
On our end. Well, it looks like Reyals is in the Mecha Wiggler fight. So that's the thing.
Okay, able to get that. That was a slightly scary one that looked like that last shot may have been like just under the wire for that to be a 2-cycle. And Rhea now entering Day Metro. Kerbis also able to get that 2-cycle.
Okay. I think I'm back and good.
Rhea is now talking to was talking to Paulette. I can't think of names. The mayor, Pauline.
Yeah, you know,
talking to the drummer.
Yeah, talking to Yao.
Yes.
Kerbis, meanwhile, doing the Metro Dram. Gets it no problem. It is one of the easier capture warp strats in this game.
Kerbis taking some
Very
time.
clean scoot clip.
Yeah, it took some time to line it up though.
No drive-by, but sometimes setting it up is a little bit better to avoid multiple attempts of driving around that cage.
Understood, yeah.
Reyals with a very clean trumpeter jump. You know, just doing a jump across the skyline of the city. No big deal.
And a bit of a moon get animation sync there. Not the same moon though.
Not quite. Oh. I did note... Ooh, interesting. So, Reyals did the musicians in a different order to what I usually see. Usually most people get trumpeter last, myself included. So it's very interesting that he did it earlier.
I guess it doesn't matter too much because they all send you to
I don't think
place.
it matters at all. I just think it's a very interesting reason, I guess, why he did that. I don't know. Maybe just personal preference. Hard to say.
Maybe he's getting them in order of favorite band member.
Potentially. Though, I doubt drummer is everyone's favorite.
Yeah, I'm going from least to most here. I didn't say which way it was going.
A guitarist? Really? Really, man? Come on.
Dude. He's going to a good spot to actually...
Uh-oh. Ooh.
Oh, that's a short jump.
That's unfortunate.
And that's a
And
long
I think Kerbis needs that moon, so he's gonna have to warp up and try again. That's gonna be some time loss. Reyals opting for slight movement, but still making it look very fast. So, good on him. Wait, did he just skip the an extra moon that I didn't see during my technical difficulties?
I'm not sure. I don't think he did.
Hopefully his moon count's okay. I wonder now. I guess worst case scenario, if he realizes that he's a moon short, he can grab Festival Secret. But no, he has enough moons, so...
Yep.
I don't know what moon he substituted for it.
That was one multi-moon away.
Bench friends? Question mark? I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyways, it's time for a favorite part of the adventure. The festival. We can't hear anything, so no sing-along, unfortunately.
Could still try. Now I'm good.
Where the lyrics are in the song. Oh no, I'm lagging again. Oh man. Hold on. Okay, I'm back again.
Yeah, we're taking that damage in the festival, and reminding us that you can die in festival. So be careful.
Oh, most certainly. I've definitely died in festival. Luckily, it was when I had plus 4-hour times in Darker Side, so luckily not anything during a good run. Was when I was still pretty bad at the game, I would say. Anyways, we're all having a pretty clean festival. Those blocks could have been a bit cleaner, but overall I felt his festival was very clean. The damage was a bit unfortunate, but not too much time lost.
Yeah, the only time lost it is the approach with the animation, because you don't even get a health regen animation when you collect the moon, because this is just a cutscene.
Yeah, it's pretty much just frames of time lost, probably. It's just the animation, you know, bugging out, not being smooth transition.
And Kerbis gets the same.
Kerbis taking damage in the same exact spot.
Yep.
Alrighty.
We can stop talking about that now.
Synchronized festival, boys. They're not really synchronized, but done the same, but a couple minutes apart. No big deal. Uh-oh.
These barrels.
You
Gotta
know,
take it slow.
You know, I'm not saying anything. I'm keeping my mouth shut. Okay.
We're good.
Yeah, I was keeping my mouth shut. I was like, they
There
should
is
be okay,
nothing-
but nah, I'm not.
There is literally nothing that can damage you at this point.
I'm not.
So.
I was not gonna say anything.
Understood.
Dying in Festival is probably an even bigger time loss than dying to Torque Drift, I would say.
Probably. It is a very slow triple moon.
Actually, maybe. I don't know. Torque Drift fight's pretty long now, I think about it. Tough to say. Oh well.
Always depends on where.
Oh yeah, definitely. But usually festival deaths happen in that last room anyway. I don't think I've ever seen a festival death that happened towards the beginning. Unless if you just like jump off the void of the city down below. Not sure if anyone's ever done that before. Let's see if we get some moon clip attempts. Looks like Reyal's setting it up. Oh, but misses it. Unfortunate. That's okay. They'll just have... Reyal will just have to do the downstairs clip.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was literally just thinking of, like, are there Like now that we know of moon clips and chest clips, like
Hmm.
are
Okay,
there
okay,
new
he's good,
ones?
he's good.
Okay, there you go.
I was
Yeah.
a little worried there for a sec, but he's good. He is on 1.0, so the clip is significantly easier.
Right. So I actually was not aware of that moon clip existing in Snow Kingdom.
Really?
I just don't see it. No.
Yeah, to be fair, it is a bit of a weird moon clip. Like, the timing for it is a lot... I wouldn't say it's tighter than Nut Clip, but if you know how to do Nut Clip, it's very different to the timing of Nut Clip. So, like, you might mix up the timings, or, like, have a slightly...
Right.
slower, faster. Like, I don't even know the timings, so I probably shouldn't be trying to explain it, because I don't know the timing either.
Either way, with like the knowledge of that existing, like there are like the knowledge of moon clips in general existing and chest clips in general existing. Part of me thinks that you might be able to get out of bounds using that chest. up the
Kerbis
bridge
not
there.
even attempting the clip, but looks like he's just gonna play it safe and do upstairs. On 1.2, that's a pretty good decision, because clips can be very annoying in this on 1.2.
And gets him the first try.
Oh, that was an interesting optimization, doing that roll boost off that slope, or off the ledge. I've never seen that. Usually people just do like a single jump or a long jump to get down there. But Kerbis showing off some speedy strats in the OOB section. That I will personally never do because I am a downstairs boy on 1.2. Because I'm nuts.
So let's see how well these people are at Bound Bowl, because that actually could cause some differences. And
Potentially.
Cause some catch-up for Kerbis as well, maybe.
The difference will be small, because Bound Bowl is usually only a range of 5 seconds between a good and a bad Bound Bowl.
Yep.
So, looks like Reyals is having a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah,
Not too much, but...
This is a slightly bad Bound Bowl time.
Ooh, not even sub 1. That's okay.
Yes, I believe
Just barely missed the sub 1.
I'd say anywhere between like 52 to like 57 is generally what you're seeing in this race, so.
I mean, personally, I get between, like, a low 53 and a high 54 pretty consistently.
I went wide.
Well, I mean, like, no, I'm just saying what I usually get. If I had to guess, though, Kerbis is probably gonna get a mid 53. I'd say a 53-62.
Do you want to put a bet on that?
Well, you want to say a number?
No. I'll say a number.
Oh, I was
50
pretty close. I was pretty
Yeah, but
close.
I was closer. I was closer. My number was 53.97. I didn't say
Oh,
it out
shut
loud,
up.
but that
You
was
didn't guess
where I
in
was-
time. It's not how this works. You have to put in your guess before, like, lap 3. Before lap 2, even. Like, midway through lap 1, I'd say. I mean, technically, you should be doing it before the race even starts.
Right, okay.
But,
Got it.
oh well.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like we're going to be seeing some Snowdram action. So, in World Peace, this strat doesn't save nearly as much time as it does in any percent. But...
I mean,
still as cool as it is.
Reyal being a good, like a pretty decent any percent runner, like he's pretty up there in the ranks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure he's top 10.
So it makes sense that he would go for it because he's probably just really practiced at it at this point.
Oh, absolutely. If you can do it in any percent, you can do it in World Peace. You can do it in Bingo or whatnot. You can do it whenever the heck you want. Neither runner having much difficulty with this rabbit. That's always good to see. The rabbit can be a troll sometimes.
Right. All rabbits, pretty much, if you don't get them with the initial, like, spin throw, yeah, gonna have a problem.
Really would... Oh, this fish does not look like it's cooperating. What was that, like a third bite? third, fourth
Yeah, I
fight.
think so.
Not
Because
to
without a
mention,
third.
not to mention, it was moving away from Kerbis, bouncing off the
Yeah.
Lakitu. That's a slight time save. Let's see if Rails goes for the new seaside route.
I don't know if I'm familiar with the new seaside route.
Yes, there has been some rerouting in seaside the past couple of days, so know how to do nut clip. It's very past couple of days. I think it's been a week already. It's been a week already. So the new seaside route basically replaces the Captain Toad moon and What the Waves Left Behind. It replaces both of those moons in favor for the underwater moons, Under the Dangerous Ceiling and the Mercy Dory moons, just because it's just something to do on the way to the Hot Spring Island.
Okay. I could see that.
So, yeah, Reyals is going for it, because he kept his Gushin alive. Okay, kind of has to do a little bit of flopping to get back to the sea, but not
Yeah,
too big
kind
a
of
deal.
ran out of gas there.
Yeah, out of gas. We'll go with that. But yeah, as you can see, Reyals is doing the new route that I was just stating. It's a
Yeah.
very simple optimization to add. Like, you wouldn't even have to practice it. There's really
Right.
nothing to it. These moons are just there, sitting for you on the way to the Hot Spring Isle. And just conveniently, there's a Gushin placed right there, right in front of Dory. It's funny how this stuff works when you route this game sometimes.
Right. It's interesting because to me, like, I know that the Cheap Jeep movement is slower than the Gushin, really.
Absolutely. It's also pretty funny that some of this stuff doesn't get found for a while. But I think that's also due to World Peace before this tournament not really getting too much attention, which is also a really good thing of doing tournaments of different categories. People will find stuff and optimize it as the tournament is happening. So, you know, it helps the category knowledge as well. Reyals, you're not supposed to be getting that moon in the new route. I guess he'll skip Cliff, then. Maybe. Hopefully. Okay, he is skipping Cliff. Oh, he's doing some Koopa free-running strat there. So, in Koopa free-running, there is a little ledge that you can get the Gushin caught on, and it does count as land. It's an invisible piece of land, which counts the Gushin to refresh, which allows you to gain more height with the Gushin.
Right. There is a max height to the Gushin based on the platform that you were underneath, pretty much.
Yeah, but because there's an invisible piece of land there that they use in KFR. Wow, that's a pretty neat optimization there. That might make What the Waves Left Behind more optimal than Cliff. Maybe. I think we'll have to get back to Neo on that one.
Which one's What the Wave was left behind?
What the Waves Left Behind is the moon that you have to kill the Kombu to get.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kerbis getting the correct moon in the route. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily correct, because, like, Reyals got that moon fairly quick.
Oh, but Rail did just lose Gushin there.
Yeah. A lot of players, including myself, have had a lot of trouble with this boss in this tournament. I don't know what it is about this tournament, but this boss has given everyone issues. It's not necessarily a difficult boss, but for some reason, there have been a lot of screw-ups with it this tournament. Minor screw-ups, but it's still time loss. Anyways, we didn't really explain what was happening there with Mollusk. So basically what both of the runners are trying to do here is they're trying to manipulate Mollusk Lancer, Doblain the third of whatever his fancy name is. Basically, what we're trying to do is we are trying to clip him through a wall by canceling his iframes, and that basically allows him to just clip through the wall. It's pretty much as simple as that. Oh, we are seeing some very monk-ass strats, but they are performed very nicely by Kerbis. So what Kerbis just did there was very scary, but he pulled it out really nicely, and it looked really cool. So good on him for doing that. That is a really risky strat to do.
Like, sometimes the clip through that wall doesn't look like you can barely tell sometimes, but that one, he was in that wall.
Well, what Kerbis did to save even more time with the clip was he uncaptured the Gushin and rolled across, and then long jumped and hit him as soon as he was back in bounds. That is a very, very risky strat that saves very little bit of time. And if you miss it, you are going to lose a ton of time. So it's not a strat that we see from very many runners. So it's cool that we got to see that in the tourney. Reyals doing that salt triple. No problem. Expected. It is a any percent strat. I'm getting lagged again. One moment. Already, for the 4th time, I am back.
I mean, I guess you're fixing it before it even really becomes a problem, but you don't have to do it
yeah,
every time.
I don't know why I'm having a lot of feed issues, but it's okay. We'll work around it. We'll figure out the time gap here with the Spirit Moon. That will be a good time gap to keep track of, I think. I don't know if it's widened much since we last checked on it, but... Because it seems like they both made pretty equal amounts of mistakes between the couple of kingdoms.
Including Kerbis messing up this salt pile.
Uh-oh. It's a bit of a bigger mistake than I would have anticipated, but alright, we're still good.
Okay, 5602 on that cutscene skip.
Okay, good. You were keeping track of it. I was just paying attention to Kerbis' screen, making sure he was okay with that salt trick. Making sure that he was okay with the salt pile moon.
I can do both.
Alrighty. So something that I wasn't sure if we were going to see or not from Reyals is you can still do a turnip clip in World Peace. It's a bit trickier because you have to launch the turnip across the gap with like a long jump into a triple jump and then throw the turnip and then do a cappy dive, and it doesn't save nearly as much time, but it definitely looks a lot cooler and it's a lot harder than the normal turnip clip. We didn't really see it here though, so I'm not gonna touch too much more on it. Kerbis having very clean movement to this Pillar Moon. Triple jumping off of that wooden peg isn't as easy as it looks.
It doesn't look easy at all. I don't
I don't know, dude. Maybe someone was like, oh, that doesn't look too hard.
That would be a wrong statement.
I don't know what people are thinking.
I don't know. Yeah,
It's not psychic.
Commentator's curse.
I don't have telepathy. Reyals finishing up the first half of Luncheon. Kind of treating this Meat Moon as the midpoint in Luncheon in World Peace. And it looks like he collected that at 58.15, so that'll be another time gap to keep track of.
Yeah, considering we both missed Kerbis's end of Speedrun fight.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Saved.
Okay, we're good.
Saved.
We're good.
Saved.
Yeah. Reyals was having a little bit of trouble there with those forks. I don't think Cappy homed into them, and I don't think he noticed. But he noticed just in time to save himself, at least, so that's good. Just sometimes you just, like, expect Cappy to do something, and then it doesn't happen. And then all of a sudden, Mario's getting his butt burned in the lava. And you're like, why is this happening? Very clean spin pound on that, overlooking the ingredients move from Reyals. Alright. So we're looking at about a minute 20-second gap between the two runners.
That's some pretty cool.
A little more than that. A little more than that. Minute 23 seconds.
That was some pretty cool Podoboo movement from Rayal. Unfortunately, not lighting the torch here though.
That's okay. That's a very minor mistake, and that Podoboo motion control jump to light that torch is a little bit finicky because the spacing that you get between that jump and the jump to light that torch is very tight. Now, Reyals showed us some KFR movement. Wonder if we'll see some more KFR movement to get up to Kukatu. I'm personally a very big fan of this movement, and it looks like we are seeing it.
Yep.
Though, oh no!
Oh!
I knew that looked sketchy as soon.
And that is not recoverable.
So I knew that he wasn't gonna make it as soon as he didn't get the cap return jump. He did something very interesting though that gave him a little more distance that I didn't quite notice before when doing this movement. He homed his cap towards the wall, so that way he got his cap back slightly faster, which I think makes the movement a little easier, I think. Oh, Kerbis is having a little bit of trouble. This room can be very irritating if you mess up, but he recovered very quickly. Meanwhile, Reyals is starting what most considered to be the most infuriating boss in this game. I disagree with that notion. I don't have too many problems with Kukatu, but...
It's okay to be wrong.
Oh.
I just think it's a badly designed fight.
Well, we could say the same about Torque Drift, Mecha Wiggler. Reyals already took 2 hits. He might want to find a heart.
The light.
There's a heart.
The Lord of
fine.
Lightning.
Yeah, now I think about it, most of the bosses in this game aren't very good.
No, they're not.
Which doesn't really do this category much justice, does it?
No, it's a good category. I actually do really like this category.
Oh yeah, World Peace is a fine category. I actually really like this category too nowadays.
But now you can see why I don't like Hookateel. That third phase took forever because of those random platforms that get thrown up by
It
Hookateel.
can be consistent though.
Well, no, the pattern
It can be consistent.
The pattern is the same every time, but it's
The
still
pattern
just a
is the
matter-
same.
It's just a matter of whether or not you can control the Podoboo correctly, and then the hitbox for Hookateel existing.
Sometimes Kukatel's hitbox does sometimes get a little bit out of whack. If there is one thing I'd say this boss has over other bosses in this game, this boss probably has the best music out of all the bosses.
And I think Kerbis just made up some time with that Hookateel fight.
Yeah, Kerbis had a very solid 5-hop. That's the second best third phase from Kukateel that you can get. The best being a 4-hop. That is very tricky to get, though. And in my opinion, not worth trying. Because the 5-hop is pretty consistent. Alrighty. So from here on out, the rest of the run is any percent. So
Okay.
it's going to be
So-
tough for Kerbis to catch up now, but that doesn't mean the race is over.
Not at all. And I do want to say the gap Rayal just got a 103.23 selecting Ruin Kingdom.
Okay. If that's the timestamp that we're going to work with.
Well, the wipe after selecting Ruin Kingdom. I'm still doing wipes. Don't worry.
Okay. So it looks like the gap was closed a little bit due to that def tearing the KFR movement on Rayal's part.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, though. He still has a pretty significant lead.
Yeah,
For
it's
this
about a
point.
40-second gap between the two of them now.
Yeah. Like I said before, though, it is not over. Bowser's Kingdom is known for lots of time punishment
Yes.
for even some of the simplest mistakes. It's similar to Lost, where if you mess up, it can be very punishing. Technically, that can be said for every kingdom, but I feel like Lost and Bowser's emphasize this a little bit more. Kerbis playing with that Captain Toad. 1.2 perk. You know, just something to do while the Lord of Lightning is shooting his giant purple rings.
Other than dodging them.
Psh, dodging them.
I'm curious if they're ever going to change the Captain Toads back to Luigi.
I don't think so.
Either way, Captain Toad getting some good more screen time there as Kerbis gives it a selfie. Or a screen cap there.
This fight is such a drag. Though, to be fair, it is a good break in the midst of the action that is Luncheon and then Bowser's. I guess it's pretty good that any percent players do get this break, because Luncheon into Bowser's, like, they're easily the two most intense kingdoms in the any percent run. So it's a good thing that they have this little break in the middle. I guess that's one way to think about it, at least.
Sure. We'll think about it that way instead of the fact that this is a missed opportunity at a really good boss fight, because...
Well, yes, it's a missed opportunity. Definitely. Imagine if they actually expanded Ruin to be one of the full-size kingdoms in this game.
We're fighting a dragon. Why is it boring?
I know, right? Reyals blazing through Bowser's Kingdom so far. Oh.
And there's a bonk.
I just need to shut up. It's so... Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
You just learn to live with it, really.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not like they can hear us. It's not like our feed is in current time with their
Nope.
gameplay.
It is not.
It makes no sense why Commentators Curse is a thing.
It just is.
Kerbis opting to grab the bird moon. The moon behind the wall. I'm pretty sure the moon name for this one is behind the big wall. I'm pretty sure. Now, that... Like, there
That
has
homing.
been debate about that moon being faster than Crate. or hidden corridor under the floor. It's been going back and forth for a while now. I'm pretty sure Crate is still faster with most optimal movement, though.
Rail having a bit of trouble here with these moon shards. The first one wasn't homing correctly. Oh, sorry, second one, and then now, messing up on the fourth one there. With the
shards are very tricky
bombs.
in Bowser. Shards are very tricky. Especially if you're using the most optimal movement to get them. Like, there are multiple things that can go wrong. They might seem small, but, like, if Cappy doesn't grab a shard, things can get dicey really fast. Oh,
And
that's
this
an
could be
interesting optimization from Kerbis.
nice. This
He's
could
doing
actually...
the shards in a slightly different order.
And also,
He's doing an older strat with the Pokio.
yeah, typically you would get on top of this roof here, just without the Pokio.
But it just goes to show that even if you use slower strats, if you pull them off really neatly, they aren't even that much slower than the faster strats. And they are relatively safer.
Right, and the two of them are really close together now. Although this cutscene here is kind of long, so it may be deceiving right now.
Yeah, I think the gap's still about the same as we had it before. Around 45 seconds. Maybe a little bit longer now. When will we learn to shut up?
This is our job. Like I said, just like move on. Just like, dude, just don't think about it. Just let it happen.
Okay.
Because it's unavoidable.
We will let it happen. Because we don't have a choice. Okay. Kerbis doing topper first. Big fan of that.
Well, Rayal didn't, so we have two people on two different sides right now. I don't really have a side for this, by the way, so I can't really be put in this.
Well, the reason why I personally do topper first is because I sometimes take damage during the topper fight, but sometimes I can grab the heart before fighting Harriet.
Right, and then I hear the argument of people taking damage during the Harriet fight, so it's just like...
How do you take damage during the Harriet fight? The only way I can see...
I don't know.
The only way I
Personally,
can see... Like, the only way I can see someone feasibly taking damage during the Harriet fight is if Cappy just didn't do what Cappy was supposed to do. It's the only possible thing that I can see. Or maybe they just, like, ran into Harriet's helmet for some reason.
Personally, I don't know. Doesn't matter too much to me. The point is that there are reasons that people have on both sides.
Topper first is superior. It's not an opinion, it's a fact.
Okay. I just don't get involved in this fight.
Okay, fine.
Whatever.
Fair enough. Anyways, Reyals is climbing the wall to mech. Pretty clean. Pretty clean. We'll see how mech goes. This could be good.
Yes, I'm expecting Rail to go for target acquired, considering being in the top 10 of it.
Yeah, I am expecting all the crazy mech strats. As expected. Yep.
Yep, already getting that second hit really easily.
It's interesting how he went about it, though. Most players usually do the spin pound off of where the black platform is before the topper capsule. He just immediately went for it on top of the topper capsule. Don't know if that was harder or...
Ooh!
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Okay, so did not...
That is very unfortunate.
Did not acquire a target, and is now fighting to get back on top of the mech.
We might see a turnaround in this race.
Yes.
Mech does this. That was very clean backup, though. That
Yeah,
was a
fine.
very clean backup. Going up the front leg and then hitting Speedrun from underneath. That was very clean.
It is good to know how to get onto the mech without a bird.
Personally, in that situation, I would have just waited for a Pokio.
And that's why Rayal has a better time than you.
I don't think that's the only reason.
Probably not.
I do not think that is the only reason, Troy.
I won't get into it. Kerbis has a much faster mech fight there.
All of a sudden, this gap is looking much more sizable. Or not as sizable, what am I saying? It's smaller. The gap is smaller.
Doable. It's doable.
Yes.
And Kerbis is playing around with the camera as this multi-moon spawns.
Reyals hit the globe at 1:14:23, just to give an idea of time difference.
Sure. That's not a wipe. What are we doing?
I'm curious now. I don't want to wait till the fade out.
Fine.
It looks like a little over 35 seconds, though. Closer to 40. 39-second difference.
So not a 40-second difference.
Not quite.
This is coming down to potentially just a good versus bad pillars.
I don't think the gap is that close, Troy. But some fumbling around in the Bowser fight could lead to a much closer race.
Yeah, a bad pillar isn't losing you 40 seconds. That is a good point. Good vectoring there from Rayal.
Very good vectoring.
That looks... I didn't expect him to go for something like that, moving around the spinning spikes there.
Even doing some slight vectors with the rocket flower. It's the small optimizations that count. Oh, okay. I'm glad he realized that, because I didn't think he was going to make that. And he didn't think that he was going to make that. Rayal's pausing a little bit early before the cutscene, but not too big of a deal. The fancy spin pound, or not the spin pound, the spin throw strats to get the hat. Very fancy.
And Rayal pretty much just don't mess up this Bowser fight, because this is important right now.
Troy.
I want an interesting race, okay?
Okay. Well, that's on you, buddy.
I don't get commentator curses, okay? Don't happen to me.
They don't happen, huh?
Nope. I will.
We'll see.
It's lagging right now.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of lag. But we're getting that frame-by-frame action.
See if that helps.
Might be Discord.
Who knows?
Okay, I'm gonna leave calling him. Okay, I'm back for the 5th time.
Yeah, halves, and I had one as well, so it's fine.
Okay. So, Reyals just doing escape. Nothing too different. Just, you know, get 2D skip, and we're all good.
And Kerbis has now started their escape.
So that 40-second difference is still very real right now. Oh, okay, he's good. He's good.
Recovered that 2D skip.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay.
Jumping is the thing.
That was interesting. Reyal's scaring me a bit, but it's okay. He knows what he's doing.
I think so.
That's intentional. Alrighty, so if we see Queen Pillar Room, should be sub 120.30. And I think he got the early pillars, so I think that time is still probably gonna happen.
Yeah, I did not check to see if the first pillar went down, but he's acting like it did. So, and yeah, now seeing the camera go over there, it is already got on. So we're good.
Yep. So this race was pretty much a pillar room behind each other. It's a pretty close race, all things considered. Not like neck and neck, but still pretty close. GG's to Reyals for taking the win, taking the W. Kerbis pretty close behind, just finishing up.
And what would be considered kind of an upset considering the seed difference between the two players. Although Reyal still is a very good runner, especially as we
Oh, absolutely. And considering half of the run,
category.
and considering half of World Peace is just any percent, it's hard to justify, you know, the fact that it just doesn't take that much time for a new runner to pick up this category. All right, so final times 1:20.17 and a 1:21.02. Pretty good from both runners. It ended up being a 45-second difference.
So yep, Reyal will be moving on.
Reyals confirming his World Peace run.
Yep, getting that achievement, Moon.
Well, technically he hasn't gotten it yet. That's the Rescue Princess Peach one.
Shh.
Is he even gonna collect it? He's not collecting it.
Okay, it looks like we're gonna have Kerbis
Run not
jump
verified.
in. Looks like we're gonna have Kerbis jump in for a post race.
Alrighty. Hey, how's it going, Kerbis? Good race.
Guys. Yeah, that was a little bit of a roller coaster on my end.
Yeah, definitely, but I feel like most of the mistakes that you did recover them rather quickly. So that was good.
The only thing was in sand when I didn't recapture the bullet bill.
Yeah, that was a little.
My motion controls were not cooperating with me at that moment, and
I totally know how you feel, man.
That was definitely like warping there. I don't know what I was doing. That was definitely a panic decision.
Definitely.
But Outside of that, I didn't do anything too terrible, I don't think. And I actually golded a handful of splits in that run, so I didn't play
That's
that.
cool.
I didn't play that badly. It was just kind of a couple big mistakes that kind of did me in.
Yeah, the thing that was really scary is during your tower skip, I noticed Cappy didn't come back immediately, so you almost jumped down through the scaffolding.
What are we talking about here?
During tower skip, Cappy didn't quite come back to you immediately.
Oh, I don't even remember that, honestly.
Well, it's interesting what commentators see and what runners remember, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, like I finished with a 121.01, which is pretty much in line with where my warm-up runs were, so kind of where how I expected to do.
Yeah, that's still a very respectable time.
Yeah, like if it weren't for the sand thing, I would have been very happy with this run. Like I've been saying the past couple days, the only thing, like if I get outplayed, I get outplayed. That's all well and good. But the only thing I did not want to happen is to get walled out by Pyramid Flip. And I had a bit of a slow clip, but nothing too crazy. Like
7th try isn't horrible.
Yeah, on 1.2, like you gotta understand that it's
on 1.2, if you can get the clip within 10 tries, it's good enough.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it's just
that's unfortunately the one version difference that we can't really do anything about, because that clip is a lot easier on 1.0. But you know, I said as long as I got it within a reasonable amount of time, then you know, I'd be happy with however the race turned out, as long as I could do that one thing. Like I just didn't want to lose by 30 seconds and have lost 30 seconds to the clip, you know.
Absolutely, and I don't.
A little sad, but
yeah, absolutely, and I don't think the race reflected that. So
I think even if I got a first try clip, you know, he would have wound up winning. So I'm totally fine with that.
Yep.
Happy with how that went.
Yeah, both of you played pretty well.
Yeah, I just out of curiosity, was my kind of prediction true? Did we kind of trade time save in different kingdoms?
In some parts, Reyals actually had an unfortunate time loss and lost where he missed the butterfly and had to.
Oh, jeez. Did he die and go back to the beginning?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So you caught up a little bit there. And in Luncheon, he was doing the KFR movement, and he also messed that up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that movement's pretty tough. It's tempting because we have such like. We have the Cooper free running, so we know what's possible there, like on a really technically optimized level. But go for it in runs is like, oof, it's rough, especially
it's
like
tricky, but it's totally worth learning.
Yeah, it's not undoable. Like you can make that movement somewhat consistent, not to the level of a Cooper free run, but you can make the general movement somewhat consistent. Probably something I should work on for the future. But yeah, like I said, happy with how everything went. Only got to do one race in the tournament, but that's okay. I'll hopefully get some chances to commentate the rest of the matches throughout.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, one thing that I do want to point out is that Mollusk Lancer strat, long jumping and then ground pounding into him.
Oh yeah, that's like my patented strat. Like for some reason, nobody else goes for it. I think Kanakama goes for it.
I wonder why.
He's the one who came up with it, so he goes for it.
It's so scary.
It's honestly, it's not as scary as it looks. I thought the same thing when I first saw it. I was like, wow, that's ridiculous strat. But then I tried it, and within like, you know,
I'm sure if
after a couple tries, I was able to get it once, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure if I practiced it a bit, it wouldn't be an issue. But
yeah, it's definitely just looking one of those things that looks way scarier than it actually is.
Yeah, it is actually extremely intimidating.
There's a relatively quick backup if you miss the ground pound as well. Like there's a Gushin that spawns right underneath where like that ground pound happens essentially, and as long as you don't ground pound through it, like you generally when I miss it, I land next to it because of the space I ground pound. And so you can just capture that and get the last hit in pretty quickly if you know what to look for and know what you're doing. So there is like a good backup for it. So that's another reason why I feel pretty comfortable going for it. But I honestly, I don't miss it very much. And it's cool. It's a win-win because like it looks cool and it's not that hard for me to do, so I like doing it.
Okay, so I was having mic issues there.
Okay, well, we were pretty much done on the interview here. I mean, if Kerbis
Yeah, I guess so. Any final thoughts, Kerbis?
I guess I will be back with a vengeance for the bingo tournament. That's all I
Yo,
have to say.
same, dude. Definitely same.
So watch out for me there. That's definitely something I excel at a little more than this, but so hopefully I'm gonna run through that.
Yeah, I
bracket,
feel like
but
I'm
we'll see.
generally better at bingo as well.
I'm excited for it. So
Same, man.
also for the rest of this tournament too, though.
Oh,
because of stuff
oh
coming
yeah,
up.
the rest of this tournament should be very interesting. I honestly have no idea what the finals will look like.
Yeah, there's a
There's
large
so
number
many
of people, large number of people who can
competent
make it.
So many competent runners in this tourney. Alrighty. Well, I don't really have too much to ask, so I guess that's it.
Right. So, yeah, thank you for joining us. I guess we got another race tomorrow, I believe, or am I? Oh, on the weekend.
We do?
My mistake. I don't know schedules. Hold on. Let me look up at that schedule.
It's Stravos versus Equan on the weekend. I know that.
Looks like we got a City Saga versus Kanikama that for 3 p.m. on Friday.
Oh, I did not know about that one.
So yeah, there is. There's a couple races that are going to be happening on Friday. So look forward to those.
Alrighty. Cool. Alrighty, well, with that, I guess I am signing off.
You guys.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, very nice doing commentary with you, Troy.
You as well, Aggro.
Alrighty.
Aggron.
Aggro. Alrighty, Troy. See you some other time.
All right, hey guys, my name's Pity. I was the restreamer, and I just wanted to, encourage you guys, if you really enjoyed this, to follow the Twitch channel. Also, we have twitch.tv/speedrun, twitch.tv/sm64. We have our Twitter, Global Speedrun. We have our Discord as well, which you can join. We upload this kind of stuff to our YouTube channels as well. And if you want to get in on the next content that GSA is bringing you, we have Super Mario 64 120-star invitational race between Blue Bob and Super Viper at 8 p.m. EST tomorrow. And then we have Punkation and Liam Kings right after that, and those are going to be pretty cool. But yeah, the next Super Mario Odyssey content, like they said, is Friday the 19th at 3 p.m. EST, so if that's your game, you know, yeah. Tune in then, I guess. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and have a great night.